Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Ryan with IowaClassicCars, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a real doozy on our hands. We have a 1969 El Camino. Gonna see if we can get that 307 automatic transmission to run and drive again. So old Felix the cat, he loves this car. I bought this a couple weekends ago at auction. I gave $605 for it, and upon the first viewing, the car looks pretty rough. It's missing its fenders, grille, bumpers, quarter panels, tailgate, just a bunch of stuff here. But really, I think this car was not being used as a parts car, but I think it was being restored. The doors have body work done to them, and the frame has been all redone. Newer bushings or new body mounts. Frame's all been painted. I just don't understand, I don't understand why they would do the frame and put the body back on like this, especially cutting the quarter panels off and only body working the doors. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But nonetheless, it does have a good 307, or I believe it's a 307. The motor does turn by hand. Turbo 350 automatic transmission. So we're going to try to get this car to run and drive, maybe do little burnouts or have some fun out in the field. But then the plan is to take this car, pull the motor and trans out of it, and my buddy out in Nebraska will be getting this car. I'm going to trade him for a four-door Impala, so it all works out. I got a new vehicle coming. I get a good motor and transmission out of the whole deal, and you guys got to check out my newest find here. So with that being said, let's get the hood off and let's dive into this thing. No hood hinges. The hood was just held on with the middle support there. And down we go. Piece of cake. Not factory, but it works. All right, so first things first here, I don't have any power with the key. All of this wiring here is just a mess. I believe that this right here, this wire, is the kicker that runs over to that harness right there, which is pretty gross, and then into the car. So not even gonna attempt to fire it with that wiring. So got my positive and my negative cables here. I've got my loser switch hooked up, and I crawled under the vehicle trying to get, let me get this set up here, but trying to get the other end of the loser switch down to the excite wire on the solenoid, and couldn't get to it. The frame is in the way, just kind of a pain in the butt. So I've got the wire here coming off of the starter, and I'm just going to hook the loser switch to that, kind of like this, and let's see if we have it turning. All right, so first things first, hook that up. All right, so motor turns nice and free. I'm gonna grab my spark plug tool, take the spark plugs out. We'll do a compression test on all 8 before I try to fire it up here, and then get some spark, get some air, get some fuel, and have this thing fire. Starting from the back right here. Not a good sign. We had like 20 pounds of compression there. So number 8 cylinder had like 25 pounds. Number 6. That's not good. Probably additional 25 pounds. All right, we have number 4 cylinder. And that cylinder's totally dead. I thought it could be possibly I wasn't, you know, maybe tightening up this compression tester enough, but it's threaded in there. I mean, all the way, it's tight. So that's not good, but come on, we'll get her figured out. And cylinder number 2. Man, that's not good at all. No compression on 2 cylinders, or number 2 and number 4, and 6 and 8 have like 25 pounds of compression. So I'm not even gonna do the other side. I'm gonna pull both valve covers here and see what's going on. So I kind of wonder if my tester's faulty, because I'm gonna put my finger in number 1 or number 2 cylinder here. And it's got compression, but look at all this crap blowing out of it here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I'm gonna start this again. It's pumping a lot of garbage out of there, so maybe that could be why. Maybe my tester's plugged up. Huh. I don't know. Kind of odd. It's day 2 now. Starter was clicking yesterday. Just moved the contact point there on the loser switch, and we have good fire now, so got all the spark plugs out of it. There was a lot of crap in this side, the cylinder banks as well, so got that all blown out with the starter here. So now we're going to wire up the coil off the battery directly there and see if we can get some spark to the spark plugs, a little bit of fuel, a little bit of air, a little bit of spark, and that creates a magical combination. So let's get into it. That's not a good sign in the air cleaner. Big old mouse nest. Carburetor is, well, carburetor is free. I guess the linkage wasn't free, but there we go. Nonetheless, not a good sign. All right, so my plan is, this carb is, I mean, it's not stuck, but it's stuck. I mean, nothing moves here. Choke is stuck. So I'm just gonna try to get some spark here off of a spark plug, clean up the points. And once I've got spark, and I know I've got spark, I'm going to pull this carb off and open it up. I hate to spend any money on this thing, but really the motor doesn't look too bad. This side has a lot better compression than the other side, just from watching how much air actually pops out of the thing. So I've got confidence it'll run. With that being said, let's pop this cap off here. Let's make sure we got spark. I've got the battery charging. Gonna hook up my toggle switch from the battery to the coil to give it some power there for spark, and we'll just kind of dive in this thing and tackle one problem at a time. I don't know if you guys can really see this or not, but it's kind of dirty and dusty down there, but points have a little bit of corrosion, not too bad. Oh, gotta grab the right screwdriver. If anybody has any extra 2-barrel Rochesters, please let me know, because I could really use a couple good ones I know are good for instances like this. All right, there's the first screw. What are you doing, buddy? Got some kind of a mud dauber in there, but I'll get that cleaned out, sand those points a little bit. Yeah, you guys can see the corrosion there now. Not having fenders on this thing is pretty nice. I should start buying them all without fenders. Makes working on engines super easy. It's not the best angle with the camera, everyone. I'm sorry about that. I've been doing this for a couple minutes now, but might as well film it to actually prove I've done it. Come on. All right, let's put it all back together and put some power to it. I took these wires off of the 52 olds that I sold when I sold it here because something tells me when it's taped like that probably isn't the best to use. All right, put some power to it. I'm going to change out one of these spark plug wires too, just so we have a fresh wire. This is for number 7 cylinder right there. Let's get that positive wire off the coil. Unfortunately, I don't have a better way to do this. Come on. So I've just got this little toggle here. Put that on. Put this all back together. Okay, so there's one end of the toggle done. The other end of the toggle goes right to the battery. And we are in business. All right, with the switch on, we have power to the coil. Turn it off quick. Let's see if we can get this thing to fire and get some spark here. All right, well, we have no juice at the spark plugs. So let's pop this, come on, pop this cap off of here again. Wire looks okay. Look at this guy. Look at this guy over here, my neighbor Dustin. You're on YouTube, buddy. Driving this wonderful ride.
That's the roar of a 3.8.
Beating the piss out of it, bouncing off the rev limiter. You want to check out my newest project?
Yes, sir.
All right, with Dustin here. He's been in a few videos of mine. Do you want to have the honors of hitting the switch?
Oh, sure, yes.
All right, it's not going to fire, but let's check out the dwell. My friend Norm gave me this old dwell meter. Not good. All right, we're going to dial in the dwell here. Ready with the key? All right, go ahead. All right. So with it hopping around like that, Dustin, what do you think's the culprit here?
Likely a condenser. Could be the coil.
I mean, the coil is, I wouldn't say it's NOS, but So maybe we spend 25 bucks, get a new set of points, condenser, a coil, and at least some spark plugs. They're not terrible. But what do you think? It's got good compression, or it sounds like it has good compression. I tested compression yesterday, and the back two had 30, and the front two were reading 0. But then I blow out of there. I wonder if my gauge is just full of shit. Yep. Which it very well could be, but all right, so time to run to Napa, or run to my computer and run to Rock Auto, and we'll order some parts for this old girl. Thanks, Dustin, for stopping by. Yeah. So we opened a can of worms here. Dustin wanted to see the inside of the valve cover, see the rockers, and I would say this was, at one time, a fresh engine. Would you agree with me, Dustin, or no?
Yeah.
He's a man of few words, but I don't know. I mean, it seems like with the frame painted, the nice insides here of an engine and a clean valve cover, probably this was a fresh motor at one time, and they set it in this car and just left it alone. So probably a rebuilt motor, or at least torn apart and cleaned up. So we're going to order some parts for it, and we're going to come back to this when they show up. All right, guys, welcome back to the second part of the video. It's about 9 days later now. I'm getting back on this. I posted a couple of secret photos on the community tab of my YouTube channel, and I went on vacation. I was asking people where I was, and no one guessed it correctly other than Marshall, which of course he knew where I was, so he's not included in this contest. But we went to Aruba, and it was 85 and sunny the whole time, and we come back to snow on the ground, and I'm wearing a sweatshirt again, so not a whole lot of fun here. And we're getting back on the 307. My friend Norm, I wanted to get this video done once I got back from Aruba, so he actually rebuilt this carburetor for me. Went through it all. Quite a bit of stuff inside of it. The choke was stuck, but he got that working. So thanks you to Norm. A big thanks to Norm there. I was putting the carb back on the car and snapped off this stud here. And this one was pretty thin as well, so I heated it up and tried to twist it out, and it twisted off here. So I'm going to get the grinder out. I'm going to set the camera up here, get the grinder out, smooth this off, and then drill these things out. So get that done, run a tap, clean that up, redo that, get some new studs, and then, as you can see here, new spark plug wires, coil, condenser, points, all that good stuff. We'll set the dwell once all this is done here. Let's get it set up and let's get the time lapse. All right, so with the help of my buddy Felix here, we drilled the holes, got the studs out, drilled them out to 3/8. Going to go get a 30 seconds drill bit tomorrow and finish cleaning that up, drilling them out. Gonna get a 7/16 fine thread tap those, get a couple new studs there, get the carburetor put on, and I am waiting on 7 spark plugs. I thought a set of 8, but I actually ordered a set of 1. Got all this done here, new coil, new wires, spark plugs. Well, spark plugs are coming, I guess. Spark plug wires, cap rotor, condenser, coils, points. Got the points gapped and dwelled at 30 degrees dwell. I'll show you guys that tomorrow. And once the spark plugs show up, get the studs put in, a little gas on the carb, a little power. She should run. This motor's been rebuilt, I'm fairly certain. I mean, the spark plugs that were in it were painted on the outside, so I don't think this motor's ever been ran, to be honest with you. So hopefully we'll get it to go. All right, guys, we're back on the motor today here. My two-sided studs finally showed up. So as you guys can see here, the bottom is 7/16-14. The top is 3/8-24, so it's a coarse thread on the bottom, fine thread on top. I drilled and tapped these two holes where I broke the studs off, and they fit perfect. So the only thing I'm a little worried about is that the stud here is a 5/16. This is a 3/8. So I'm going to come over here now, if I can. I'm going to try this again here. So I'm going to take the nut off the stud that I've got. Come on. And I'm going to verify if it fits. All right, so I've got this double-sided stud here. I just want to make sure that this will fit, and it won't. So I'm going to need to drill these out a little bit here to clear that. Where'd that go? There it is. I'll have to drill out the bottom two or the back two holes here to get that stud to fit through. That shouldn't be too bad. Gonna work on getting these put in the manifold here quick. Not gonna film that. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. Just take 2 nuts on top of each other like that and then twist it in, and it should get it seated nice and tight in there. Drill those holes out, get the carburetor put on, and we're one step closer to making this thing fire. The old carburetor is back on. Everything's moving nice and free. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys what I got working here. I got my my coil wire, my coil power right here, the starter button right there. Everything's wired up. I'm just gonna show you guys the dwell. Got that set to 30 degrees. Let's turn the points on. Doesn't help when the power isn't attached. All right, so dwell is set perfect. I ordered a set of spark plugs, and I guess when you hit 1, it meant 1 individual plug. So waiting on 7 more. All the other ones are pretty old and corroded. They're in here somewhere. One of these boxes has them, and I'm not going to worry about it. I am keeping this engine. I'm going to use this for a project, so I don't want to put old stuff back in it. One more day waiting for the other 7 spark plugs to show up, and then we will put them in and rock and roll.
12 seconds later.
So I got a little impatient here, and I put old spark plugs back in it just to see if I can fire it up, and it's backfiring really bad, like a shotgun is being shot right next to your ear. But my timing mark is way advanced from 0. So I'm going to set this back to 0, take the distributor cap off, and see where that rotor button is pointing. So going to get that figured out here. Maybe it's just a simple timing issue. I have verified spark. I took an old spark plug, one of these long wires, grounded it right there to the heater box, and I do have a good spark. So just got to be a timing issue, but I'm going to set this thing back a little bit, pop the cap, and see what happens here. I hope you guys can see this. but I've got it right above 0. I mean, it's as close as I can get it. The motor doesn't really want to turn by hand. I've got to bump it over with the starter, so got it as close as I possibly can. I mean, that's pretty dang close to top dead center, right at the 0 mark. So gonna pop that cap now and see what we got. All right, so the timing is about 3 positions off there. So just got to move these wires, set that to number 1. And yeah, because right now number 1 is like right here maybe in this position, and it should be like up here. So move it around a little bit. Hopefully it's just a simple thing like that. Keep on rocking. All right, so it was 180 out. The number 1, or where number 1 should have been, was number 6, which means it was, what, 4 positions? So yeah, 180 out. So I'm gonna put some gas in it. And this time, let's see if we have some better luck. I'm kind of nervous, honestly. Put that right there. Points are on. Oh, doesn't matter when the points aren't on because they have no spark. Now let's turn them back on. All right, here goes nothing. Nope. I'm gonna grab the jump pack, more fuel. Just keep trying it. Come on. All right, guys, so it's got to be close on the timing anyways. It's puffing, so it's got spark. Probably 2 things aren't helping me, and that is probably I don't have the timing exactly right, and I'm running 7 of 8 old spark plugs. So I know I've got spark because I verified it off the heater core with the spark plug, but it wasn't like a great white spark. It was just kind of a dull one. So I'm gonna wait until tomorrow when the new spark plugs show up. My friend Norm, you guys have seen him quite a bit. He's gonna come out and help me get this this timing, dead set, and hopefully then it should run. And once it runs, motor's coming out, this whole car is going away. So stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back to this this fiasco of a 307. You guys saw in the first part of the video, I did a compression test. The numbers were not great. I will put the numbers on screen now what the old ones were, and I'll put the new ones on what they are now as well on the right side so you can compare them. I talked to Mortsky, asked him for his advice. My friend Norm, who's local here, and my friend Scott, and my friend Ray. So if you guys are watching this, thank you guys for the help. They gave me a bunch of options here. So the first one, I took some Marvel and some diesel and just put it in the cylinders, let it soak. Mortsky was saying if the rings are stuck or whatnot, that should kind of help them move a little bit, maybe seal it up a little bit temporarily. Norm, Ray, and Scott all said kind of the same thing, is let them soak. Also check the lash, the valve lash. A lot of these were actually really tight, couldn't move them at all, even when there was no pressure on them whatsoever. Kind of like right there. I mean, this exhaust valve has pressure against it, but assume it was like that where you couldn't even move it all the time on the intake. So loosen them up a quarter turn at a time. I started to get compression, and I also had Ray tell me take off the intake valve or whatever, the rocker arm here, and just tap the valve itself with a rubber mallet. I guess Mortsky told me that too. But do that, just keep tapping it little by little, put the rocker on, test it, and it actually did come up quite a bit. The rocker arms and stuff all look pretty good. There's my compression gauge. I'm on the last cylinder here. I've been working on this probably 2 hours today. And really, they've gone from like 30 to 40, pounds of compression to 80 on the low end to 120 on the high. So not ideal by any means, but a whole lot better than what it used to be. So with that being said, I'm just going to show you guys this compression here quick, and then we will put it all back together and actually try to fire it again. So still, like I said, not ideal, about 80 pounds, but it's a whole lot better than the 30 it was before. So hopefully we actually have a fighting chance now of getting it to run. I almost want to cut that fuel line and put my electric fuel pump on it. But I don't want to at the same time because I don't want to totally flood it out. It's got to be close. It's doing a little popping, and God, it's trying. Well, back to the drawing board. All right, guys, so local celebrity Norm here, he came out today to help me. I could not get this thing figured out. And our timing was all right. He just messed with the distributor a little bit and actually fired up. Didn't record that because I wasn't expecting it to fire up, to be honest with you. I've been struggling with this thing for probably 6-8 hours, and Norm shows up for 15 minutes and it's running. So gonna get the camera set up here and we're gonna hear this thing. All right, so where's my switch? Points are hot. Too much timing?
Might have been. Yeah.
More gas? All right. Ready, Norm?
Yep.
Again, or?
Okay.
Oh, come on. More gas? I wonder if I should go fill my fuel tank and cut that line and put an electric pump on it.
Runs out,
Yeah. Well, yeah, because once this motor's...
Ain't been running for a long time,
No, yeah, I agree. And then once this motor's out, I'm going to get rid of this car.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull that 64 and just put this one back in it. So at least then I can always hook it up. Yeah, it's pumping. Oh, yeah, it's pumping a lot of gas. Fuel pump. You know what, Norm? Do you have like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Let me take that off, that line. Okay, got the boat tank hooked up. So should I give it a shot of gas, Norm? And do you want the screwdriver in there? Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Points are hot. Here we go. Well, sounds good.
Yeah.
Go or squirt it? Squirt some gas or?
Probably gonna have to put some gas in it again.
Here we go. Sounds pretty good. Norm, what do you think? There's a difference between, Norm, how long have you been doing car stuff? 60 years? There's a difference between someone like me who's been doing it for 4 or 5 years and about 1 year of like teaching myself, and a guy like Norm has 60 years of experience. Points on. Out of the way, Norm.
Yep.
It sounds really good. Hey, Norm, you want to give it some gas? Simple as that. All right, everyone, that's the end of the video for today. I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon pulling this engine. I'm going to take the whole front clip section off of here and yank this engine out. It's going in the gold 64 Impala 4 hardtop, so you guys will see that in a couple weeks here. But thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you learned something. I learned a lot. If you guys are older and have the experience like Norm, be like Norm to someone in your community. I mean, help out the younger generation, get them into this stuff, because I was getting a little discouraged with this motor, didn't think it was going to run, and Norm renewed my faith in that. So thanks to Norm, thanks to all the guys like Norm that actually want to teach and want to help out. Again, if you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment, any comments, questions, concerns. If you're brand new, make sure to subscribe. I'm always finding cool old stuff, so I hope you guys will tune along with me. So thank you all for watching. My name is Ryan with Iowa Classic Cars, and I'll catch you guys next time.